Hi, this is Dina for Splitcoaststampers. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to fold cardstock into an easel typed holder for business cards. We'll need 3 cardstock pieces for the project, so I'll begin by cutting those. The first piece will be the card base, and it's cut to 4 1/4 inches by 6 1/2 inches. The second piece will be the front panel, and it's going to be the same width of 4 1/4 inches, and I'm going to cut it to 3 inches high. The top edge of this panel is the one that you'll see above your business cards when the easel is displayed, so you might want to give yourself a little extra room to use a border punch or die on the top edge. For the box, we'll need a piece that is 2 1/2 inches by 5 inches. The next step that we're going to do is scoring, and we'll begin with the largest panel, which is the base of the easel. We're going to score this piece at 2 inches and at 4 inches. On the panel that's 2 1/2 inches by 5 inches, we're going to score 1/2 inch from each end along the long side and 1 inch from each side along the short side. And we'll use those score lines to create our box. The front panel of the card doesn't need any scoring, but you can die cut or punch a pretty border on it if you'd like. To create the easel base of the card, I'm going to use a bone folder to crease along each of the score lines. And then these 2 smaller sections fold up and over like this with a longer section as the base. To hold the easel in place, you'll need something dimensional like a button or a large pearl or embellishment. Even a small figurine or whatever fits the theme of your project would work there. I'm using a button with a plastic shank, so I used wire cutters to remove the shank, and I'm just centering the button on the front edge of the project with some tacky glue. To create the box, we'll need to cut some tabs. So I'm going to make 2 1/2-inch cuts on the short ends outside where the score lines intersect, so on both ends of the box piece. Next, I want to make sure that all my score lines are creased well, so I'm folding them all in, and I'm going over each one with a bone folder. To shape the ends of the box, I'm gluing and folding all those end tabs together. And in the photo tutorial, she suggests sandwiching the tiny tab in between the 2 larger ones. I forgot to do that, but you can do that on yours, and yours will be better than mine. To make sure the ends are nice and tight and square, you can put a 1/2-inch acrylic block down into the box opening and use that to form your corners. I'll repeat the same steps on the other end of the box. The next step is to put the project together, and I'll start by putting the front piece onto the easel base, and that goes onto the 2-inch section of the base on the opposite side from where the button is glued. So when you lay that piece down, make sure your button is face down. I'm going to line up the edges so the bottom of the front piece is against the edge of the card base, and you'll want to put adhesive on the base rather than on the front piece so you don't get the glue up too high. You want that to be able to open and sit up straight. The next step is to glue the box onto the front piece, and I'm gluing mine about 1/4 inch from the bottom. You might need to adjust this measurement on your project depending on how tall your little stopper is. When you have the project assembled and displayed, you'll want the bottom of the front piece to be able to rest against the stopper without the box getting in the way. So that's the basic structure of the project. You can use die cuts or other embellishments to personalize your project, or just leave it clean and simple. I used a feather die cut on mine, and here are some samples by our tutorial author using decorative paper and a pretty border punch. Please share your ideas in the gallery. We would love to see them, and I thank you so much for watching.